Did you know that Tennessee has a town that's in 2 different time zones at the same time? What about the underground cave system, so massive you could fit several city blocks inside it? Or the mysterious stone structure that might be older than Stonehenge? Have you heard about the nuclear city that didn't officially exist for years? Did you know there's a replica of the Parthenon in Nashville that's bigger than the original? Well, Tennessee is a state that's full of crazy facts like this. So settle in, because we're about to reel off 50 of the wildest facts about Tennessee that you probably never knew. Fact 50, the state that was once a country. Before Tennessee became the 16th state in 1796, it was an independent nation called the State of Franklin. From 1784 to 1788, the people of what is now eastern Tennessee broke away from North Carolina and formed their own country, complete with their own constitution, government, and president, John Sevier. They even tried to get admitted to the Union as the 14th state, but Congress rejected them. The state of Franklin printed its own money, made treaties, and operated as a sovereign nation for 4 years before economic problems forced them to rejoin North Carolina. It remains one of the most successful secessionist movements in American history. Fact 49, the town split in 2 time zones. The tiny community of Jellicoe, Tennessee, sits directly on the border between Eastern and Central time zones. Main Street literally divides the 2 zones, meaning businesses on opposite sides of the street are in different times. A restaurant on one side serves lunch at noon, while the one across the street serves it at 1 p.m. Residents have learned to specify fast time or slow time when making appointments. School buses have to account for the time change when picking up students. It's the only place in Tennessee where you can walk across the street and travel through time. Fact 48, the mystery of the Bell Witch. The Bell Witch haunting in Adams, Tennessee, is one of America's most famous ghost stories and the only supernatural event ever officially recognized by the U.S. government. From 1817 to 1821, the Bell family was terrorized by a violent entity that pulled hair, slapped faces, and spoke in voices. The ghost claimed to be a witch named Kate Batts, who was seeking revenge on John Bell. Even future President Andrew Jackson visited the farm to investigate and reportedly fled in terror. John Bell died in 1820 under mysterious circumstances, and witnesses claimed the witch laughed and sang at his funeral. The legend became so widespread that it's now called Tennessee's greatest ghost story. Shiggy. Fact 47, raining fish in Fayetteville. For decades, residents of Fayetteville and surrounding Lincoln County have reported fish falling from the sky during severe thunderstorms. While scientists explain this as waterspouts and tornadoes sucking up fish from ponds and rivers, locals insist it happens too frequently to be coincidence. In the 1950s, a biology teacher collected dozens of fish that fell on the school playground during a storm. The fish were identified as species from a farm pond several miles away. Whether natural phenomenon or something stranger, the fish rains of Tennessee continue to puzzle meteorologists. Fact 46, the nuclear city that didn't exist. Oak Ridge, Tennessee was built in 1942 as part of the Manhattan Project, but it didn't appear on any maps and couldn't be discussed publicly. At its peak, 75,000 people lived in a city that officially didn't exist, working on the atomic bomb without knowing what they were building. Workers were told, "Your job is to work, not to ask questions." The city was fenced, guarded, and had its own schools, stores, and infrastructure, but you couldn't tell anyone you lived there. Mail was censored, and residents needed badges to enter or leave. Oak Ridge remained a secret city until the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. Fact 45, the Parthenon in Nashville. Nashville has a full-scale replica of the Parthenon in Greece, and it's actually larger and more complete than the original ruins in Athens. Built in 1897 for Tennessee's Centennial Exposition, it was meant to be temporary, but locals loved it so much they rebuilt it permanently in concrete in the 1920s. Inside stands a 42-foot-tall statue of Athena, covered in gold leaf, the largest indoor sculpture in the Western world. The original Parthenon never had such a statue, so technically, Nashville's Parthenon is more complete than the one in Greece. It's why Nashville is called the Athens of the South. How are you doing so far? Tennessee's weirdness is just getting started. Fact 44, the 3 music birthplaces. Tennessee is the only state that can claim to be the birthplace of 3 major American music genres. Blues was born on Beale Street in Memphis. where W.C. Handy wrote the first blues composition in 1909. Country music began in Bristol during the famous Bristol Sessions of 1927, where the Carter family and Jimmie Rodgers made their first recordings. And rock and roll was born at Sun Studio in Memphis, where Elvis Presley recorded That's All Right in 1954. No other state can claim 3 genres that shaped modern music worldwide. Fact 43. The Lost Sea Underground Lake. Deep beneath Sweetwater, Tennessee, lies the Lost Sea, America's largest underground lake. The lake covers 4.5 acres, but that's just what we can see. Cave divers have explored underwater passages extending much farther, and the actual size remains unknown. The cave was used by Cherokee Indians, served as a Civil War saltpeter mine, and was even stocked with trout in the 1960s. Today, visitors ride glass-bottom boats across the crystal-clear water, surrounded by massive rock formations. The lake maintains a constant 58 degrees year-round, and no one has ever found the bottom in some sections. Fact 42. The moonshine capital Cockey County, Tennessee, has long been considered the moonshine capital of America. During Prohibition, hundreds of illegal stills operated in the mountains, producing thousands of gallons of untaxed liquor. The terrain was perfect: remote hollows, pure mountain water, and plenty of corn. Federal agents called it the hardest county in America to enforce the law. Even today, illegal moonshining continues, though most has been replaced by legal craft distilleries. The legacy lives on in NASCAR, which was founded by bootleggers who souped up their cars to outrun federal agents on mountain roads. Fact 41. Reelfoot Lake's earthquake birth. Reelfoot Lake in northwest Tennessee was created by the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded in the continental United States. The New Madrid earthquakes of 1811 to 1812 were so strong they rang church bells in Boston, 1,000 miles away, and made the Mississippi River flow backward temporarily. The quakes caused the ground to sink, creating a depression that filled with water from the Mississippi River. Reelfoot Lake, covering 15,000 acres, was formed in a matter of hours. Today, it's one of Tennessee's most important wetlands, and the sunken cypress forests create an eerie, beautiful landscape. Fact 40. The Mystery Stone of Bat Creek. In 1889, a stone was discovered in a Native American burial mound near Bat Creek, Tennessee, with mysterious inscriptions. For decades, it was thought to be Cherokee. Then, in the 1960s, a historian noticed the writing looked like ancient Hebrew letters. This sparked wild theories that Hebrews or Phoenicians reached Tennessee before Columbus. Scientists now believe it was a 19th century hoax, but the debate continues. The Bat Creek Stone remains one of Tennessee's most controversial archaeological finds, displayed at the McClung Museum, with the mystery still unsolved. Fact 39. Gatlinburg's secret past. Today, Gatlinburg is a major tourist destination, but it started as a tiny mountain settlement so isolated that residents developed their own dialect and customs. The town had no paved roads until the 1930s, and mail was delivered on horseback. When Great Smoky Mountains National Park was created in 1934, Gatlinburg had just 500 residents. Then came the tourists, millions of them. Today, Gatlinburg receives over 11 million visitors annually, making it one of the most visited mountain towns in America. The population is still only about 4,000, meaning tourists outnumber residents by nearly 3,000 to 1 during peak season. Fact 38. The Stolen Counties. In 1818, the Chickasaw Nation signed a treaty selling all their land in western Tennessee to the U.S. government. However, the treaty specified that the Chickasaw would be paid from the sale of the land. The government sold the land, but kept most of the money, paying the Chickasaw only a fraction. Historians estimate the government owes the Chickasaw Nation over $1 billion in today's money. Multiple lawsuits have been filed over the centuries, but the stolen counties of western Tennessee remain unpaid for, making it one of America's oldest unresolved financial disputes. Still keeping track, the strange facts keep coming. Fact 37. The Scopes Monkey Trial. In 1925, Dayton, Tennessee, became the center of worldwide attention when high school teacher John Scopes was put on trial for teaching evolution. The trial pitted famous lawyer Clarence Darrow against politician William Jennings Bryan in a clash between science and religion. Over 100 reporters descended on the small town, and the trial was broadcast on radio nationwide, one of the first trials ever broadcast. Scopes was found guilty and fined $100. But the trial's real impact was bringing the evolution debate into American consciousness. The courthouse where the trial took place is now a museum, and Dayton still holds an annual festival commemorating the event. Fact 36, the miniature Eiffel Tower, Paris, Tennessee, has a 60-foot tall replica of the Eiffel Tower, but with a Tennessee twist. It's topped with a red, white, and blue cowboy hat. Originally built in the 1990s, the tower was meant to promote the town's name connection to Paris, France. Local officials decided that since they couldn't compete with France's 1,000-foot tower, they'd make theirs uniquely American. The cowboy hat, weighing over 200 pounds, was added to distinguish it from other Eiffel Tower replicas around the world. It's become Paris, Tennessee's most photographed landmark. Fact 35, the Brushy Mountain Escape-Proof Prison. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary was built in 1896 in Petros, Tennessee, specifically to be escape-proof. Surrounded by rugged mountains and dense forest, the location itself was meant to be the prison. It housed Tennessee's most dangerous criminals, including James Earl Ray, who assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. Despite the remote location, there were 43 escape attempts during its operation, though the harsh wilderness recaptured most escapees within days. The prison closed in 2009 and is now a museum and distillery where visitors can tour the cells and hear stories of famous inmates and daring escape attempts. Fact 34, the New Madrid Earthquake Zone. Tennessee sits on the New Madrid Seismic Zone, one of the most dangerous earthquake zones in America. The zone is capable of producing magnitude 8.0 earthquakes, larger than any California quake in recorded history. Scientists predict a 25 to 40% chance of a major earthquake in the next 50 years. Unlike California's frequent small quakes that release pressure, the New Madrid zone builds up stress over centuries, then releases it all at once. When it does, it will affect a much larger area than Western quakes due to the geology of the region. Memphis sits directly on the fault line. Fact 33, Jack Daniel's Dry County Paradox. Jack Daniel's Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee, is the oldest registered distillery in the United States and one of the world's most famous whiskey brands. The irony? Lynchburg is in Moore County, which has been a dry county since Prohibition. You can tour the distillery and see millions of dollars worth of whiskey being made, but you can't buy a bottle in the county where it's produced. Until 2016, you couldn't even buy a drink at the distillery. Now, special state laws allow limited sales at the distillery itself, but nowhere else in the county. It's America's most famous dry county. Fact 32, the Great Smoky Mountains. Name: Great Smoky Mountains National Park gets its name from the blue smoke that appears to hover over the mountains. But it's not smoke, it's actually fog created by the dense vegetation. The Smokies have more plant species than all of Europe, and all those plants release volatile organic compounds that scatter blue light and create the characteristic haze. Cherokee legend had a different explanation. They said the smoke came from a great monster that the gods trapped under the mountains, and the haze was its breath seeping through cracks in the rocks. Are you surprised yet? Tennessee's got more tricks up its sleeve. Fact 31, the tornado capital. Tennessee experiences more tornadoes per square mile than any other state. The geography creates perfect conditions. Warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico collides with cool, dry air from the north, and the Appalachian Mountains channel these systems right through the state. Tennessee averages 50 tornadoes per year, with some years seeing over 100. The worst outbreak occurred on April 3rd to 4th, 1974, when 45 tornadoes touched down in a single day, killing 68 people. Unlike the flat plains where you can see tornadoes coming, Tennessee's hills and valleys hide twisters until they're right on top of you. Fact 30, the Atomic Museum nobody visits Oak Ridge, Tennessee, home to the American Museum of Science and Energy, tells the story of the Manhattan Project and the atomic bomb. The museum displays actual equipment used to enrich uranium, explains the science behind nuclear fission, and chronicles the secret city's history. Despite its incredible importance to World War II and American history, it's one of the least visited major museums in the country, perhaps because of Oak Ridge's remote location, or because nuclear history makes people uncomfortable. Fewer than 50,000 people visit annually. It's a museum of world-changing importance that remains largely ignored. Fact 29. The Civil War's Battle of Nashville. The Battle of Nashville in December 1864 was one of the most decisive Union victories of the Civil War, effectively destroying the Confederate Army of Tennessee. What makes it unusual is that it was fought in a major city, with civilians watching from their windows and rooftops. Over 100,000 troops fought in streets, hills, and fortifications surrounding Nashville. The battle was so complete that the Confederate Army ceased to exist as an effective fighting force afterward. Today, you can still find Civil War fortifications throughout Nashville's suburbs, often forgotten in people's backyards or turned into parks. Fact 28. The Bonnaroo Transformation. Every June, a 700-acre farm in Manchester, Tennessee, transforms from quiet pastureland into one of America's largest music festivals. Bonnaroo brings over 80,000 people to a town of 10,000, creating a temporary city larger than many Tennessee towns. The festival features its own zip code, medical facilities, police force, and infrastructure. For one weekend, rural Coffee County becomes a massive music venue, hosting the world's biggest artists. Then, on Monday morning, everyone leaves, and the farm goes quiet again until next year. It's like watching a city appear and disappear annually. Fact 27. The Unexplained Lights of Brown Mountain. Brown Mountain, near the North Carolina-Tennessee border, is famous for mysterious lights that have been reported for over a century. The lights appear as glowing orbs floating above the mountain, changing colors and moving erratically. Cherokee legends spoke of them before European settlers arrived. Scientific explanations range from car headlights to swamp gas to atmospheric phenomena, but none fully explain all the sightings. The lights appear randomly, sometimes multiple times a week, sometimes not for months. They've been investigated by everyone from the U.S. Geological Survey to paranormal researchers, with no definitive answer. Fact 26. Graceland's bizarre tourism. Elvis Presley's Graceland in Memphis receives over 600,000 visitors annually, making it the second most visited house in America after the White House. But the tour gets weird. You can't go upstairs where Elvis lived because Priscilla Presley has kept it sealed since his death. The Jungle Room, where Elvis recorded his last albums, looks exactly as it did in 1977, with green shag carpet on the ceiling. His grave is in the backyard next to his swimming pool. The mansion is smaller than most people expect, about 17,500 square feet, but the cultural impact is enormous. It's like a shrine frozen in time. Fact 25. The Secret Society of Ruby Falls. Ruby Falls, a 145-foot underground waterfall inside Lookout Mountain, was discovered by accident in 1928 when Leo Lambert was drilling an elevator shaft for a different cave. He broke through into a previously unknown cave system and found the waterfall. Lambert named it after his wife, Ruby. But here's the weird part. The waterfall is completely enclosed in rock. There's no natural opening to the cave. The only way to see Ruby Falls is through the man-made tunnel Lambert created. It's one of the only waterfalls on Earth that was hidden from humanity until the 20th century. Over 500,000 people visit annually to see a waterfall that nobody knew existed 100 years ago. Getting your mind blown yet? We're not even halfway through. Fact 24. The Lost State of Transylvania. Before Tennessee existed, there were plans to create a 14th state called Transylvania from parts of what are now Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia. In 1775, settlers purchased land from the Cherokee and petitioned the Continental Congress for statehood. The Revolutionary War interrupted the process, and Virginia claimed the land for itself. If Transylvania had become a state, Tennessee as we know it would never have existed. Instead, Tennessee was carved out of lands that North Carolina ceded to the federal government. The lost state of Transylvania remains one of history's what-if moments. Fact 23. The Mountain Dew Connection. Mountain Dew was invented in Tennessee as a mixer for whiskey. Created in the 1940s by Tennessee bottlers Barney and Allie Hartman, it was originally marketed as a zero-proof hillbilly mixer. The name comes from Tennessee slang for moonshine. Early advertisements featured a hillbilly character with a jug and the slogan, Yahoo Mountain Dew. The bright yellow-green color was supposed to remind people of moonshine. When PepsiCo bought the brand in 1964, they kept the mountain theme but downplayed the moonshine connection. Today, it's one of America's top-selling sodas, but it started as a Tennessee moonshine mixer. Fact 22. The Cades Cove Time Capsule. Cades Cove in Great Smoky Mountains National Park is a preserved valley where time stopped in the 1930s. When the park was created, the isolated mountain community was frozen in place. Today, visitors can tour original log cabins, churches, and mills exactly as they were when families lived there. What makes it eerie is that you can see the remnants of an entire community, graveyards, home sites, agricultural fields, all abandoned when the government purchased the land for the park. Some families had lived in the cove for generations. Now, it's like walking through a ghost town where everything is perfectly preserved, but no one lives there anymore. Fact 21. The secret scale used for Cotton Tennessee's cotton gins once used a measurement called the Tennessee bale, which was different from the standard American cotton bale. This allowed merchants to game the system, buying cotton by one weight standard and selling it by another. The practice was so widespread and caused so much confusion in cotton markets that Congress eventually passed laws standardizing cotton bale measurements nationwide. The Tennessee bale became shorthand for dubious business practices in the cotton trade, and the state earned a reputation for sharp dealing that took decades to shake off. Fact 20. Dollywood's economic impact. Dolly Parton's Dollywood theme park in Pigeon Forge has created one of the strangest economic success stories in Tennessee. A town of 6,000 residents hosts over 3 million visitors annually, making it Tennessee's most visited ticketed attraction. Dollywood employs over 3,000 people and has an annual economic impact of over $1 billion on Sevier County. Dolly's business savvy transformed a struggling mountain town into a tourism powerhouse. She offers free tickets to any Sevier County resident who graduates high school and pays for their first year of college through her Dollywood Foundation. It's corporate tourism done with hometown heart. Fact 19. The Last Public Hanging Tennessee conducted the last public hanging in American history that wasn't for a federal crime. On May 7th, 1936, Rainey Bethia was hanged in Owensboro, Kentucky, but Tennessee held public hangings until 1939, when the practice was finally made private. The spectacle nature of public executions drew massive crowds, often over 20,000 people, who came with picnic baskets and children to watch people die. Vendors sold food and souvenirs. The carnival atmosphere eventually embarrassed officials enough to move executions behind prison walls. Tennessee's last public hanging in 1939 marked the end of an era. Fact 18. The Natchez Trace Parkway. The Natchez Trace Parkway is a 444-mile scenic drive following an ancient trail used by Native Americans for thousands of years. But here's what makes it unusual. There are no commercial businesses allowed along its entire length. No gas stations, no restaurants, no hotels. Just 444 miles of peaceful, winding road through forests and historic sites. It's one of the few roads in America completely untouched by commercialization. The parkway passes through Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi, connecting Nashville to Natchez. It's like driving through history with nothing modern to interrupt the view. How's your Tennessee knowledge expanding? More strange facts ahead. Fact 17. The Hermitage Curse. Andrew Jackson's home, the Hermitage, near Nashville, has a reputation for being haunted. Staff and visitors report hearing phantom footsteps, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing cold spots throughout the mansion. The most common ghost is reportedly Rachel Jackson, Andrew's wife, who died shortly before his inauguration as president. Some claim to see her in the garden, where she's buried. Jackson himself was known for his violent temper and participated in several duels. He carried a bullet in his chest for 39 years from one duel. Whether the haunting is real or legend, the Hermitage maintains its spooky reputation. Fact 16. Memphis and the Yellow Fever. In 1878, yellow fever struck Memphis so hard the city nearly ceased to exist. Over 5,000 people died in a city of 50,000. Those who could afford it fled, reducing Memphis's population to just 20,000. The epidemic was so devastating that Memphis lost its city charter and became a taxing district. It took years to recover, and the city wasn't reincorporated until 1893. The epidemic led to major public health reforms, including the development of a modern sewer system and clean water supply. The disease's impact was so severe that Memphis's population didn't recover its pre-epidemic levels until the 20th century. Fact 15. Bristol's divided. Downtown Bristol is literally divided in half by the Tennessee-Virginia state line, which runs down the middle of State Street. Businesses on one side are in Tennessee, those on the other in Virginia. Different state laws apply to each side of the street, different tax rates, different alcohol laws, different regulations. A restaurant can have entrances in 2 different states. During the Civil War, families on opposite sides of the street were in different states, and some fought for different sides. Today, Bristol celebrates being twin cities, but the division creates constant legal and jurisdictional oddities. Fact 14. The Great Fire of Nashville. In 1916, a fire destroyed most of downtown Nashville, including the state capital area. But here's the strange part. The city used the disaster as an opportunity to completely reinvent itself. Rather than rebuild what was lost, Nashville constructed modern buildings and redesigned entire streets. The fire destroyed much of Nashville's 19th century architecture, but created the Athens of the South image the city promotes today. It's one of the few times an American city used a disaster to completely transform its identity, rather than restore what came before. Fact 13. The Guinness Book Connection. Many people don't know that the first Guinness World Record for longest playing jukebox record was set at Buddy's Bar BQ in South Memphis. In 1976, the jukebox played a single song, Chantilly Lace by the Big Bopper, continuously for 3 weeks. The record stood for years until someone in another state tried to break it by playing a different song even longer. Tennessee's connection to Weird World Records goes beyond this. The state has held records for largest guitar, biggest moon pie, and longest conga line. It seems Tennesseans love to go big or go home. Fact 12. The Highlander Folk School. Near Monteagle, Tennessee, the Highlander Folk School served as a training ground for civil rights activists. Rosa Parks attended workshops there weeks before her famous bus boycott. Martin Luther King Jr. visited multiple times. The school taught organizing tactics, nonviolent resistance, and community empowerment. It was so threatening to segregationists that the state of Tennessee revoked its charter in 1961 on trumped-up charges. The school immediately reincorporated across the state line and continued its work. Today, the Highlander Research and Education Center continues this legacy, but few people know Tennessee played this crucial role in civil rights training. Fact 11. The Mystery of the Tennessee Wild Man. In the 1870s, residents of Stewart County reported encounters with a wild man living in the woods. Described as tall, hairy, and speaking gibberish, the creature terrorized remote farms. Some said he was a feral hermit. Others claimed he was an escaped slave hiding in the wilderness. Pazes searched for months. The wild man was allegedly captured several times, but always escaped. Reports continued sporadically for decades, then stopped entirely. No one knows if he died, moved on, or was simply a legend. The Tennessee wild man remains one of the state's earliest cryptid sightings. Fact 10. The Sequoyah Birthplace. Sequoyah, the Cherokee scholar who created the Cherokee syllabary, was born in Tennessee near Vonore around 1776. His creation of a written Cherokee language was one of the most remarkable intellectual achievements in American history. He created an entire writing system from scratch without being literate in any language. Within months, thousands of Cherokee learned to read and write. Today, the Sequoyah Birthplace Museum honors his legacy, but many Tennesseans don't realize one of history's greatest linguistic achievements happened in their state. Sequoyah's syllabary allowed the Cherokee Nation to become one of the most literate societies of its time. Starting to see Tennessee differently, the state's full of surprises. Fact 9. The Davy Crockett Tall Tales. Davy Crockett was a real Tennessee congressman and frontiersman, but the legends about him were wildly exaggerated even during his lifetime. Stories claimed he killed 105 bears in 9 months, could grin a raccoon out of a tree, and fought alligators barehanded. Crockett himself published an autobiography in 1834, trying to separate fact from fiction, but the myths persisted. He died at the Alamo in 1836, cementing his legend. Today, most people know the Disney version, but the real Crockett was a Tennessee politician who opposed Andrew Jackson and fought for Native American rights before heading to Texas. Fact 8. The Chattanooga Choo Choo. The Chattanooga Choo Choo song by Glenn Miller made the city famous worldwide, but the actual train, Southern Railway's Cincinnati to Chattanooga route, was relatively ordinary. The song was written by 2 New York songwriters who'd never been to Chattanooga. After the song became a massive hit in 1941, Chattanooga embraced it, eventually converting the old terminal station into a hotel. Today, you can sleep in refurbished train cars at the Chattanooga Choo Choo Hotel. The city built an entire tourist industry around a song written about a place the songwriters had never visited. Fact 7. The secret tunnels of Knoxville. Beneath downtown Knoxville lies a network of underground tunnels and spaces that most residents don't know exist. Built in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the tunnels connected buildings and provided utilities. Some were used for steam heating, others for moving goods. During Prohibition, they allegedly served as smuggling routes for illegal alcohol. Today, most are sealed off, but historians estimate miles of forgotten tunnels still exist under the city. Occasionally, construction projects break through into unknown chambers, revealing pieces of Knoxville's hidden underground city. Fact 6. The Tennessee Walking Horse Scandal. Tennessee walking horses are famous for their smooth gait, but the industry has been plagued by the practice of soaring, deliberately injuring horses' legs to force them into an exaggerated gait. Despite being illegal since 1970, the practice continued for decades, protected by industry insiders. Federal investigations revealed trainers using caustic chemicals, chains, and other torture methods. The scandal embarrassed Tennessee, which had made the walking horse its official state horse. Today, stricter enforcement has reduced soaring, but the controversy damaged the breed's reputation and Tennessee's equestrian industry. Fact 5. The Lost Cove Cave System. Cumberland Caverns near McMinnville is Tennessee's longest cave system, with over 32 miles of mapped passages. But here's what makes it truly unique. The cave features a massive underground room called the Volcano Room that hosts concerts, weddings, and even a bluegrass music series called Bluegrass Underground that's broadcast nationally. The acoustics in the underground chamber are so perfect that musicians travel from around the world to perform there. It's the only concert venue in America located 333 feet underground in an active cave system. Fact 4. The Great Locomotive Chase. During the Civil War, Union spies stole a Confederate locomotive called the General in Kennesaw, Georgia, and tried to drive it north through Tennessee, destroying track and telegraph lines along the way. The Confederates gave chase in another locomotive for 87 miles through Georgia and into Tennessee, in what became known as the Great Locomotive Chase. The Union raiders were eventually caught in Tennessee, and several were executed. It was one of the first Medal of Honor actions. Today, the General locomotive is preserved in Georgia, while Tennessee marks the spots along the chase route where the two trains raced at breakneck speeds. Fact 3. The last Confederate general, Nathan Bedford Forrest, a controversial Tennessee figure, was one of the most successful Confederate generals despite having no military training. After the war, he became the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, though he later claimed to have left the organization and called for racial reconciliation. His legacy divides Tennessee. Some see him as a military genius, others as a war criminal responsible for the Fort Pillow massacre. Statues and monuments to Forrest have sparked protests and debates across Tennessee, making him perhaps the state's most controversial historical figure. Fact 2. The moon pie capital Chattanooga is the moon pie capital of the world, not because they were invented there. They were created by the Chattanooga Bakery in nearby Maryville, but because the factory in Chattanooga produces millions of moon pies annually. These marshmallow and graham cracker sandwiches dipped in flavored coating have been a Southern staple since 1917. The tradition of pairing moon pies with RC Cola became a cultural touchstone. Every New Year's Eve, Chattanooga drops a giant lighted moon pie instead of a ball. It's Tennessee's answer to Times Square, but with more marshmallow. Fact 1. The Great Smoky Mountains diversity. Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most biodiverse national park in America. It contains more species of plants and animals than any other national park, over 19,000 documented species, with scientists estimating another 80,000 to 100,000 species yet to be discovered. The park has more tree species than all of Europe. This incredible diversity exists because the Smokies served as a refuge during the Ice Age, allowing species to survive that went extinct elsewhere. The Cherokee called it Shakonash, land of blue smoke, and considered it sacred. Today, it's America's most visited national park, receiving over 12 million visitors annually, twice as many as the Grand Canyon. So there you have it, 50 bizarre, wonderful, and sometimes unbelievable facts about Tennessee. From secret cities to underground lakes, from the birthplace of multiple music genres to mysterious lights on mountains, from moonshine to moon pies. Tennessee is a state that constantly surprises. It's a place where you can tour a nuclear weapons facility and Elvis's mansion in the same day, where underground caves host concerts, and where a single street divides two states. What makes Tennessee truly special isn't just its music or mountains or history, it's how all these elements combine into something uniquely American. This is the state that gave us blues, country, and rock and roll. That hosted the world's first nuclear reactor and the trial that defined the evolution debate. That's home to underground waterfalls, mysterious stone inscriptions, and a replica Parthenon bigger than the original. Which facts surprised you the most? Did we miss any of your favorite weird Tennessee facts? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this journey through the Volunteer State's strangest stories.